Hi everybody, how are you doing? I hope you're having a nice Wednesday. I just had this mad panic. It is Wednesday today. It's been a really weird week. I think because you've got a bank holiday Monday, it kind of throws everything off track, doesn't it? Not that I'm complaining. It was lovely having a long weekend. But yeah, it's now back to the routine again. So hey Linda, hey Karen. Okay, there are other people here. I'm obviously not crazy. It is Wednesday, and I'm just going to jump straight to it with the crafting. So here we go. So today's project is one which I did for a class that I was holding at the weekend. So apologies, Karen and Laura, if you join. You guys have had a chance to see this already. But this is a cute pop-up card. So it fits in our normal C6 envelopes. So it's the normal size of card. Should say from the start, this was a card that was first designed by an American demonstrator called Lisa Curcio, fabulously talented demonstrator. And I redesigned the sizes so that it would fit UK sizes of card and UK envelopes. So this is all done for UK sizes. But the front of it pops up and pops open, and you get this top bit that flips. And you'll see here, there's a little pocket that you could put a gift card. Yes, this has got a business card in it, but if you had a gift card that you were giving somebody or some money, you could pop that in the pocket as well. And I've got one that's done in the blueberry bushel and the berry burst, and then same thing again, just done in a slightly different colorway. So hey Julie, sorry you've seen this one as well, but I'm going to do it again. I'm going to share all the measurements so that anybody who's interested in making this card should be able to give it a shot. So what you're going to need to start off with is a piece of, so I'm using blueberry bushel as my base, and it should be, if I cut a piece that's too small, this piece is too small. Oh, I know what I did. I cut pieces for everybody at the class, and I think those were the bits that were left over. And when I was checking, I thought, oh great, I've got a spare piece that I can just use, but it's the wrong size. So let's get out my pack of card. Let's do it properly, because if you make it with the wrong measurements, it's really not going to work. Hey Heather, hey Karen, lovely to see you. Right, A4 sheet of card. You're going to put it in and cut it at 10 centimeters. So you'll basically get two of these to an A4 sheet of card, and then a little bit left over, which is just the wrong size. And that's the bit that I just pulled up. So 10 centimeters this way. Then you're going to turn it 90 degrees. You're going to put it in. Now, get a pencil. I like to use these ones that have got like a propelling pencil that you can make the lead longer and shorter, and I'll show you why. I'm going to put it in, I'm going to measure it to 10 centimeters, and I'm just going to draw a pencil mark on the left and the right side of my card. So I've now got, it's hard to see because it's dark card, but there are pencil marks on there. So 10 centimeters, put it into 10 and draw pencil marks. Hey Debbie, glad you could join us. So once you've done your pencil, put it in, pencil marks, so 10 centimeters, and draw pencil marks. Then you're going to take it to 15 centimeters and you're going to do a score line all the way across, scoring 15. And then you're going to take it down to 20 and you're going to cut. So you're going to cut off this tiny little piece here. So again, let me just recap on that, okay? It's 10 centimeters wide and it's A4 width, and you pencil marks at 10, score at 15, cut at 20. So that's what you're going to end up with. Then you're going to find these pencil marks on your trimmer, line it up with the guide, and then take the corner to the guide as well. And what you're going to do here is score diagonally from your pencil mark to your corner. And once you've done one side, you're going to do the same at the other side. So your pencil mark to your corner and score. And if you've done it right, you should end up with this kind of cross in the centre that goes right the way through that line as well. If it looks wrong, it might be because you didn't cut that top bit off. That's happened to me before. Go on, ask me how I know. But what you're going to do, once you've done that, let's put my trimmer to one side, get your trusty bone folder, and you're going to fold along these score marks, diagonal one way, diagonal the other way. And then the back one, you're going to, the centre one, you're just going to fold it across like that. Okay? Because then what you can do is just push that in and end up with a fold like this. Oops. Don't know what I've done there. There we go. Looks a little bit like a house, doesn't it? Quite cute. But this is the pop-up part of your card. So, next thing you're going to do is get some designer series paper. Now I'm using the Bright and Beautiful 6x6 papers. You can see the two that I used before, one with the little lines here and one with the dots there to look like balloons. There's some really, really gorgeous papers in this set. I'm not going to go through all the papers because we've looked at them already in an unboxing. And if you're thinking, oh, but I want to see all the papers, go back and check out one of my previous videos because they are all there. But I'm trying to find which one will I use. This one. I want to use the stars because I think this is going to look really cool, and they make great birthday cards, these particular kinds of cards. And just with these fun colours, you could do them for any age, you could do them for any gender, you could just have lots of fun with them. So the size of DSP that you want to cut is 9.5 centimetres square. So bring out your trusty trimmer again. 9.5 is what you're going to cut. There we go. And this piece sticks onto the bottom of our blueberry bushel piece. Now, you can stick the whole thing down completely flat if you want and just make it like a background layer. But remember what I showed you on this first one. So when it pops up, I've got this little pocket inside that you could put a gift card or some money. So if you want to do it as a pocket, then what you need to do is just put glue on 3 of the sides. Don't put glue across the whole thing. Not looking at anybody here. Oops. Just rub that bit of glue off. Right, so I've got my glue on 3 sides only, and I'm going to stick that so that the pocket, so the bit without the glue, is at the top. To be honest, you could have it to one of the sides if you wanted your pocket sticking out the side. Just don't have it at the bottom because then that would look a bit weird. So I'm going to position this on there like that. And then I have a piece of Berry Burst cardstock, which is 10.5 by 10.5, and I'm going to stick this on top of that just to give it a wee bit more oomph and also to get this lovely layered effect along the back. So this one is all sticking down completely. I just think it's nice. It gives it that extra bit of colour just round the edge. Lovely. Okie dokie. So we're getting there. Next, what I've got is 2 squares that are 7 centimetres by 7 centimetres. And again, if you think of your A4 sheet of card, you'll get A4 sheet of card, you'll get 3 of them along. So 7, 7, 7, because it's 21 across. So you'll get 3 of these squares to a sheet. And you want one that's in the same colour as you used your background. And you want one that's in basic white. Basic white is the one that's going to have your, it's going to have your sentiment stamped on it. Hey Margaret, glad to see you. Do your stamping before you stick it onto the card. You'll get a far better image. So the stamps that I'm going to use for this one is from the Beautiful Balloons stamp set. And I'm going to use this lovely happy birthday stamp here, which I've only had this stamp set a couple of weeks and already this is becoming one of my favourite happy birthdays. So I'm going to do this in my Berry Burst. So glad this colour came back. Now, remember, this piece is going to sit inside like that. So I want to make sure that it's at that it's in this diamond shape before I stamp my sentiment. If you stamp your sentiment like this, when it goes in there, it's going to look a bit weird. So make sure you've got it looking like a diamond before you stamp. And just do your sentiment in the center. There we go. And I'm just going to clean that off. Did everybody have a nice weekend for Coronation Weekend? We did have a street party in our street, but I think it was more just an excuse to have a party rather than feeling particularly patriotic. Whether you are or aren't, I hope you had a lovely weekend nonetheless. Right, so once you've got your sentiment, we're going to stick it in to this top triangle. And the best way to do that is with your Tombow glue and just do a triangle of glue in there and then get your sentiment, make sure it's the right way up and slide that in. Again, the Tombow is really good because it's very forgiving, lets you slide it in to the right place, and then once you've got it, just kind of fold it up, press it down so that that sticks nicely into place. And then what you're going to do on the other side is we're going to put glue all over that piece and we're going to stick our Berry Burst piece of cardstock on. This just makes this square a little bit stronger and it gives us a nice coloured background to work from. Again, using the Tombow lets me just straighten that up so that I get it nice and flush. And then I can just press that down and hold that in place, like so. There we go. So now I've got my sentiment on the inside and I've got my Berry Burst square on the outside. Now it's time to do a little bit of decorating. So what I'm going to do is, again, very similar to the ones that I did for my samples. First of all, I'm going to do this tag piece. Actually, no, I'm going to stamp all the pieces and then cut them all out because it just makes a lot more sense. One thing I will say, this tag piece here, it is easier to cut it out and then stamp it rather than stamping it and then cutting out. And normally it's like, but Emma, it's always easier to stamp first, isn't it? No, it's not. Look, this one is solid. So in order to get the stamp positioned where you want it to be, it is easier to cut it out first. So I'm going to cut out one of those. I also want to have a couple of balloons on the front. So I've got my big balloon cut out there, my medium balloon, and at the same time I'm just going to pull off a little star and a little tassel while I'm at it. There we go. The stamps that I'm going to use, now I experimented with this at the weekend and it actually worked really, really well. First of all, I'm just going to do this little balloon, which looks kind of, it's just a balloon, but done in the lemon lime twist, it really does pop. And it's got a little bit of a pattern on it as well. Let me show you. Let's see, get these out of the way. Is anybody else like that? They have a massive table, but then they end up using just the same 6 inches to craft in. Or is it just me? There we go. Right, do you see that's got all these little bits of confetti and dots around the outside? I think that's a really cool feature of this stamp. I really like it. So let's clean that one off. What are we thinking of the new colours? Have people had a chance to play with them? Have you had a chance to look at them? For those who are on my VIP list, my lovely customers, the catalogues and your colour samplers will be coming out this week. So I have been hard at work trying to get all of them ready, and I know you're going to love them. So, right, the next stamp I'm going to use. So this particular stamp here, again, has got this kind of like confetti bit around the edges. But what I'm going to do is, so this is my Bubble Bath ink pad. It's a gorgeous pink. It really is. This is the pink we've been waiting for a long time. Trust me on this one. It is a beautiful shade of pink. So I'm going to stamp my nice big balloon that again has got the little confetti pieces around the edge of it. But what I'm going to do, just to give this balloon an extra bit of oomph, is one of the other balloons in this set is just the confetti pieces. So if I stick that one back in, and then I've got this piece here, which is just all the confetti. And then watch as I do this in Berry Burst over the top. You get a really, really lovely effect on this one. There we go. Ta-da! Isn't that pretty? It's like a balloon full of confetti. I think it's gorgeous. Love, love, love it. But then I am biased, so. Anyway, you get a lovely effect when you just layer those stamps up on top of each other. And of course you can do it in any colours you want, any combinations. It looks best if you have a light colour first and then a dark colour on top. But you know what? You could have a dark colour on the bottom and then you could have a embossing on the top. So you could do lots of different things with that. Right. Let's get the trusty cut and emboss over here. So what I'm going to do is I'm cutting out my tag shape. Remember, I haven't stamped it yet. That's deliberate. I'm just going to cut that out and stamp it later. I'm going to line up these balloon dies with my stamping. I'm also going to take, so we've got this fabulous glimmer paper again, which I had literally 30 seconds ago in front of me. I don't know where I've put it. Let's get another piece out. This glimmer paper was stuff that we had years ago as a celebration freebie, but they've brought it back. We're really pleased. So I'm going to cut the star and the tassel out of this gorgeous stuff. So I'm going to put them on. Let's just make sure those are nice and aligned. Let's just cut the whole thing out. There we go. Oops. Now this is the danger when you start to layer up too many things. Also, I've got it at an angle. That's the problem. There we go. Sometimes, do you find sometimes it's easier to just cut one thing than it is to try and line up half a dozen and then make sure none of the dies move? I could get the washi tape and stick them down in place, but I'm just being lazy. There we go. You know what? That's fine. I've got my balloons, put them to one side. I've got my, now these have cut, there we go. Pop them out, put that to one side. Now the tag piece, sometimes you might need to release that. If you do, there's a little hole just at the top of the die that you can poke through and it will help the die just peel away, which is looking lovely. Remember to poke out all the tiny little bits of the die. There's quite a few of them here. Again, I have got a brush that I could use to get all of them out faster. And I think if I was doing multiples of this, I would use the brush because it would be a lot quicker. but I'm only doing one of these tonight. Having said that, when you make this card, make multiples, make more than one, because if you've got a card design, it's usually just as easy to make 2 or 3 as it is to make one. And then you've got 2 or 3 cards rather than just one. Always a useful idea. There we go. Let's get my sentiment to go on this. And I'm going to use my Blueberry Bushel ink and this stamp here. I think it's time for a celebration. I like these colours going together, the Blueberry Bushel and the Berry Burst. They're bold pinks and blues, but they really do coordinate beautifully. Let's put that on there. Oops. Fab, just how I want it. Right, we've done all our cutting. Now it's time to do assembly. So, I'll just put my stamp back in the stamp set very quickly. Again, I love how they've got the images of the stamps printed on the inside of the case, which means if I line them always up where they've been, I can look at a glance and see if I'm missing any stamps or not. It's always good. Right. So, putting on this tag piece first, I'm going to use 2 foam pads along the bottom. Now, on the cards that I showed you at the start, this top part actually just tucks in just underneath that card so that you can pop it open and look at the pop-up element, and then you just almost kind of like bend it slightly to help it in and out. Now that one, I'm going to show you, it's only a tiny amount. What's that? Maybe like not even 1/2 centimetre or 1/4 of an inch. Maybe 1/4 of an inch. The first one that I did, I actually had it over much more. I had it more like 1 centimetre, and that's probably slightly too much. So it's the sort of thing you can trial and error. But what I would say is hold down the front of your card and position your tag. I've peeled off the backs there, and just position it so it's only slightly over the top of that point, like that. Just enough to be held in place, but that you can still pop it out and then just tuck it back in again afterwards. That's what to do. Then let's get some more foam pads, get my balloons done. Now, I'm going to put a foam pad just straight onto the little balloon, but the big balloon I want to kind of pop off the edge. So I need to be careful where I'm putting my foam pads. So I'm just going to put them on the bottom half of my balloon so that I can still have that bit off the top without glue getting in the way. So let's put that there. Let's put the other balloon beside it. I'm just going to tuck that underneath. And then I've got this star. I'm going to use one of the mini glue dots for that one. And stick that just on the top here. Jaunty angle. Now this piece, at first you think, oh, it's meant to be tassels, but it all looks solid. If you turn it over to the other side, you can see much easier which bits need to be poked out. So if you're ever looking at a die that you've done that you need to poke bits out, but the pattern is so intricate that you can't tell, turn it over to the other side, and that makes it an awful lot easier. So again, going to use one of these mini foam pads just at the top for my tassel. I'm just going to put that at the bottom of my balloon like so. And there you go. There is our pop-up card. Just having a look, that took us, what, 20 minutes maybe? Because I had 5 minutes at the start saying hello to everyone. But you can see in the couple of different colours that I made these cards. Hopefully that was easy to make. I know from the group that I had at the weekend, I think we had a lot of fun making them. Hopefully that's simple enough, but I think it does still look really pretty when you open it up. And you can write in that piece there, or if you wanted, you could put a panel on the back and write on there. But that is our pop-up card for this evening. What do you think? Do you like it? I hope you do. Right, I'm going to flip back to me for the finish. That was the only project I've got for you tonight, but I do hope you like it. I do have a lot more goodies that are on their way, so next week I'm hoping to do a big unboxing and show you lots more goodies out of the brand new catalogue. If you would like a copy of the new catalogue, then make sure you drop me a message and I'll get one out to you. But if you've shopped with me in the last 6 months, I'll be sending one out to you automatically. So, hope you have lots of fun crafting. If you do try this fancy fold, then please let me know. Send me a picture or share it on the Craft with Emma Facebook page. I love to see the creations that you make. I hope you are having a fabulous week and happy crafting. Take care. Bye.